surface level. Everybody seeming relatively cool, calm, and collected. But on that same note, MDF, this is almost feeling like the ultimate calm before the storm. Skittles, Chubbs, they're actually going to beat out everybody else on this far east portion of the map. All out fares over the breezy coast, and Doxy Oreo, they've just been having a rough go in all 6 lobbies so far, and it doesn't seem like it's gonna get any better for them here. As Oliver OG, Craze, they get credit for at least one of those, but they know they're not completely safe just yet, and the action's gonna continue to evolve as we head on over to Grim Gate.
I still just can't imagine being triple contested at that drop, but that's a story for another time. Rapid does finally fall in the early game. I mean, you can only be contested so many times before everything doesn't necessarily go in your favor. So this is going to start coming out to Batman Booga here. Okus already looking for the side angle. Batman Booga blocks him off here. He's starting to run out of space to work with Buckus. Bucky comes in, they find the tags, and it is not looking good right now for Batman Booga and Rapid. They get sent back to the lobby, and their tournament evening ends with a dance from Okus and Bucky here. The 50th place team. Oh, man.
And there goes the shutdown dream of trying to take second place on the leaderboard away from
shouldn't have said anything, Taco.
That might actually be a little bit of Caster's Curse coming into play, but hey, it's about time that we saw a little bit of something out of the agent fellas. Bucky and Okus, never want to count them out. Bucky and Okus in general been having a really strong performance throughout the Opens weeks here in Major 3 quals, but Quanti, Yapko, an even better one still. Research, Rock, completely in their favor. Blaha and Mixon down and out for the count.
Near questionable edit right there from Quanti for a second, but take a look how the first elimination goes through. He goes toe-to-toe with Mixon and comes out very much healthy. Meanwhile, we get to jump in with Zaire up against Reet and Ritual. We saw what happened before here at the Reckless Railways, where Reet and Ritual doubled all the way back into the storm to finish off these players here. This is, again, very much personal at the drop. So far, Scissor and Zaire are putting on the pressure here, but Reet answers back, and all of a sudden now he has the advantage, as it has been all night long.
I mean, I see Scissor, but this is an odd spot for sure. Looking like a couple of solos, and now one more duo gonna join the fray here. Ritual, Reet, they scouted out too much company for their liking. They're trying to reposition. They haven't actually had an opportunity to farm up like they like to. School and Jagvier trying to see if they can come out on top with all the madness that's ensued here at the Reckless Railways so far. They've got Reet on the ropes currently. Reet trying to do what he can to outplay School here, but there's just too much of an HP differential. And School with an elimination onto Reet. Jagvier as well, cleaning off Zaire. But we see Scissor. I'm looking around for where Chimp was last located. Okay,
was that Reet and Ritual, or was that just Reet who got trapped here?
Initially seemed like just Reet.
So I see a solo, yeah, I see a solo to the north by the railways, and then of course we saw one player escape. Take a look at him revised here, breaking his way through with the Nitro, newly revised Nitro, and then tries to get in on Vorteca here. Does end up making it happen, and you see it's the little things like that. You do have to damage those walls now before you try to break your way through, given the new damage adjustments. Peterbot and Pollo on the other side of the red line rig. Very much calm and cool down here. No teams have rotated this way. It makes sense given the zones landed right on top of them. So they're going to have a hard time with Surge if they don't get moving here shortly.
big fight taking place right now between Tace and Iamzo. Bacon and Zooks. Bacon, Zooks. They definitely need to either hold their ground or just pick off either Tace and Iamzo, ideally both. They're looking to try and convert a strong endgame performance here to close out the last lobby of the day here. Could definitely help elevate their position in the leaderboards, but the split maneuver from Iamzo and Tayson maybe just hoping that Zooks and Bacon lost sight of where he was at. Sure enough, lining up the shots here onto Zooks. Unfortunately, not going to be able to connect. He'll be forced to break that rock, start walling himself off, refarming some mats along the way, but determined still to try and possibly take this engagement up against the likes of Zooks and Bacon. All the while, Iamzo trying to just hold down some good coverage line of sights here. So that's going to make it possible for Tayson to kind of just get away without any further pursuit there.
I was looking for angles, not going to find any just yet, but it's not looking too good. Ravino right now, who is starting to get collapsed on. Where's his teammate? Has Clicks arrived in time? Looks like it. Vino turns things around, and good comms here from the duo. Click swings underneath for a separate angle. Muzz got his teammate up on the high ground right now, putting pressure on to the low ground. Very, very dangerous type of play style for Vino and Clicks here. It does seem like more and more duos are starting to pick up on the fact that they are playing separately like this.
I think it's also more so the fact that Muzz and Trashy seemingly probably want this forecast tower for themselves. That's really what Veno and Clicks are trying to defend currently. But again, knowing that Muzz and Trashy are so close behind, it's not going to give an opening just yet for Veno or Clicks to deal with those forecast guards. Again, you just want to be cautious. You want to make sure that you can play out this final game. They were holding down that 4th place position, I believe, on the leaderboard. Miro and Pink, on the other hand, a little bit further down today's leaderboard, currently sitting in 19th. But Nerface and Sid have definitely had a rough go throughout today's lobbies. And Miro, Pink, you can tell how clearly they want this engagement to pan out in their favor, just trying to establish as much early surge as possible.
Seen a couple moments of greatness from Miro and Pink. Not enough just yet to have them be the talk of the town. But it's a team like this, you know, that'll pop in, show up to grand finals, and all of a sudden have that weekend, right? The weekend that we know they're capable of. Don't put it past any of these top tier duos to show out.
You can tell Miro finding it a bit bothersome. Those teams hovering towards Pleasant Piazza that were trying to have a little bit of that third-party interference, trying to get some freebie tags while Miro and Pink are preoccupied dealing with Nerface and Sid. But Ritual, again, are leaderboard leaders. But this is a very rough situation that Ritual finds himself in, and Cam Aminish, they just got second in the last lobby. They want to ensure that Ritual and Reet are down and out for the count entirely. If they can pick off Ritual here. I like this crouch, though, from Ritual. Sneaky. He could sabotage Cam and Aminish pretty heavily if they're not careful.
They're thinking he passed the drop, and now that they don't see any builds out there, they're wondering if he's inside, but he's already skating off to the side, so...
Give him the slip.
I like it. Complete outmaneuver there, but Tiz North, though, has to be careful. It's a team inside the bunker, so as long as they're underground, they're not going to pose a threat just yet, but Ritual does seem to have given them the old escape. And Aminish and Cam have no idea where he could have gone. Little do they know. It's already over.
Man, if that ends up being the moment, though, where Ritual just goes for some kind of godsend run, gets the reboot van off,
I'm not even sure he has the
run
card.
it back.
I'm not even sure he had time to go back to get the card. Like, he was so far away. I mean, they were giving chase, so they could have been sitting on the reboot card for all we know, but... Well, time will tell.
But if he does do it, that would just be absurd at this point.
Well, they have to hold their first place spot, right? If Ritual falls now, let's be honest, Peter Bond and Boyo with the top 10.
Oh, they'll never hear the end of it. That's the other problem. You know Peter Bot and Pollo is going to mess with them along with everybody else if they manage to close out week 2 here. But yeah, this is part of the problem. We saw Jagvir and School earlier on. They were the big third party that initially intervened. The 2 solos that Reet and Ritual have been trying to tackle at the start of this. And now Ritual, he wants to get to Reet's reboot card, but School and Jagvir, they are just sitting tight. They know Ritual wants to wrap back around for it, but Ritual may be able to have to just swallow the pill that is, he's just going to have to play this one out as a solo.
Do keep in mind, this was, what, 3 zones ago? So yes. They are really committed to making sure Ritual doesn't get this pickup right now, and Ritual's trying to do his due diligence, is trying to read the zone here, but one false move and that'll be it. Jagvir and School don't recognize the fact that there is a fresh duo here, and Diminish Company might have actually caught wind that there's a fresh team here. And here it is. The pickup does come through. It's a different player, though, and Jagvir and Cam are probably left dumbfounded right now. Like, what is going on right here? It's a whole different team. So 3 teams here now, including Ritual, who's rotating out of the drop, looking back as if he dodged a virtual bullet here. Recognizes that that was not the place to be now. And hey, look, Jagvir and School get what they wanted. May not have been exactly to the script, but they found the elimination that they were at least looking for some points here.
Yeah, but from hunter to hunted is the situation currently for Cam. A Minish still left standing there at Reckless Railways, but Scissor, having utilized that reboot van to bring Chimp back, it's going to be tough, I think, for any of those parties to fare much better here. And sure enough, Scissor, it's not going to be left standing for much longer. Just too difficult of a situation to actually come out on top from. But at the same time, that could be a bit of a saving grace there for Ritual. At the very least, so much commotion has taken place from everyone else that he's probably managed to just slip on by.
Kanata and Cooper fishing for tags right now, given that they've had problems with the Storm Surge before.
Look at the ammo, though.
Yeah, running really light here. I'm not sure if that's telling us that they've been trying to find damage or they just have time to loot. Something is wearing pretty heavy on them at the moment. Muzz and Trashy right now with the outskirts rotate. I approve of this one right here. And a fresh team, Pink and Miro here on the move to the left side. Shots go in, forcing them to block up, but they don't want to play with this zone here. Can't really mess with it at the moment. This is a great find here.
That is until Muzz's shields got dinged by what I'd assume to be either Miro or Pink, confirming those tags. And that's gonna call for a slight pause there for Muzz and Trashy, really just trying to gauge whether or not it's worth trying to take that launch pad with Miro and Pink so close by. But Pink and Miro rotating out of Karen's Crossing. Curious whether or not the couple of weapons bunker potential spawns that they have nearby, their initial drop, is something that they've been able to take advantage of throughout the course of today's matches. Regardless, though, with so many other players kind of encroaching on their position, they're definitely going to want to play things smart. And Ritual putting on the greatest facade of all time. This is looking like the Surge Tower of a duo, not just a single player left to his own devices. And Ritual, he's not even risking it. He could go for tags at this point, but he knows if he draws too much attention, it might be the wrong sort of attention.
Then there's always that idea, like, is that the team that was camping my card? You know, like, you don't want those guys finding out where you're at.
That was pretty devious, though, of School and Yagvir. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, final
not sure how I
lobby
feel about that.
in there, sitting on the reboot card there.
And Bucky's play too. We're not gonna talk about it. We're gonna let those rock. This is great tags right here from Vino and Clicks. Body tag is gonna put them right above. They'll have 40 seconds before this surge turns online. This is Mason Hound. Mason Hound had such a great 3-game run and then just fizzled out of all momentum. I know they're sitting there thinking about what they could have done better, but there's still a redeeming game right here in front of them. You know, I always say that it only takes 4 really good Fortnite games to be up at the top, likely in the top 3. So for Mason and Hound, they still have a chance. They've gotten 3 in the books. They just need 1 more.
And I don't necessarily want to call it radio silence on their part either, because when you think about what surrounds them, again, Reclaim Villa, Sandy Strip, a very difficult area to actually rotate out of successfully, because sure, you've got one launch pad super far west on the map near that drop point, but you also have to deal with Clicks and Veno, Muzz and Trashy, potentially Pink and Miro as well, and just that sort of trio of an assortment would be problematic for any seasoned vets to deal with. But now School, Yagvir, it seems like they want to finish what they started. They've got Ritual on the run currently, and Ritual, he does at least have a medkit to tank a bit of Storm for right now, but just such a heavy cost.
And I just want to
School
actually,
and Yagvir.
I was just gonna say, just to jump back really, Clicks and Vino, they have the forecast hour. I just realized they were dead center because of the forecast hour. So if they win this last game, that'll be very interesting for this overall standings as well. But look at Ritual go right now, just cooking on the wide rotate here. I want to see what his damage thresholds are looking like come the end of this Storm phase right here. That'll determine a lot for this end game as things start to pick up here. Team that has no problem right now, Peter Bamboyo, 600 above, no eliminations, but they're just keeping it close for us. And they're on the congested side. The southern eastern area here has flocks of players starting to move in now, and look at that stack happening there. Talking about the teams needing to fight. Vino and Clicks choose the duo that was right above them. This was Noisy and company. I believe Tony and Noisy, yeah, they needed this fight. I love that they took the fight early before the zone even closed and the surge turned on, instead of looking and fishing for tags, recognizing that there was nowhere in sight. And that's like kind of the pros and cons of having to reboot, right? Or the forecast tower.
But that's the other thing that could potentially work against Clicks and Veno if they're not careful. Other teams looking to maybe try and follow in their footsteps. They might be able to scout out the fact, just based on the way that Clicks and Veno are rotating, whether or not they might have that knowledge that the forecast provides. So
yeah, look at them go.
Surprised to see other players trail them, and yeah, this is a really nice wraparound strat so far from Clicks and Veno. Rather isolated position currently, but again, while there's a little bit of a lull in action for these two, Peterbot and Pollo just continue to try and decimate the rest of the lobby here. Bacon doesn't get an opportunity to heal. Wall's completely taken, just such a heavy fire rate, and Ritual will finally go down. Of course it's gonna be School and Yagvir right behind him.
So unfortunate. Like, if all the players are gonna get taken out to, these are the players that take you down. is going to be salt in the
They were
wound
never
right
gonna
here.
let it go, man. They were never gonna let it go.
Just salt in the wound for sure. But the game goes on. Jagbeard and School having their best game that they've had on the evening. At least they have something to brag about for this game 6 right here. Take a look at the zone. A reflection of a far pull to the congested side. Very few teams had to move right here, and this is why the player count hasn't really dropped, and we're looking at a surge online at the moment. Mason's finding his. Peterbot and Pollo looking for more.
I like the attention towards the high ground, though. Peterbot and Pollo just trying to jump whatever ramps they can. At the same time, Zooks, they already got Bacon. They spotted out that Zooks is a lone wolf. And sure enough, they're actually not going to get the elimination credit, but they will get all of the benefits from up above. Just chopping the floor. All that loot, all those goodies now at Peterbot and Pollo's feet, and could not have come at a better time. Pollo, unfortunately, not going to remain a participant for the rest of this course of action here, but at the same time, it might be just good enough here. Muzz will take that freebie as it stands. He's a solo, so we'll let him have that one.
Peterbot had a chance for first. Now it's just looking pretty dire here. Muzz is like, hold up, bro. I think I got a refresher here. Let me see if I can go grab that.
He at least wants the points, that's for
I
sure.
like this. Peterbot with the bait, throws the body back. Finds attack onto Muzz, and now turning all things back.
Still, though, having to work through ultimate low ground. So many other teams kind of situated just a layer or two above. Clicks in the 1 versus 2 of his life right now up against the likes of Tayson and Iamzo at that. His last shield potion going to come into effect. Still has a singular Nuka-Cola to work with as well, though, and Iamzo, Tayson, they're going to keep watching their backs. They're waiting for Clicks to continue trying to aggress into their walls, but Tayson, the nice side jump over, gets a good chunk out of Clicks' HP, and that shield damage is more than enough to warrant Clicks having to fall back just a moment longer.
Visuals and Braids on high ground here. We've seen them attempt this before. This time, the base looking a lot stronger for them. Still, though, same situation as before. They're not necessarily too comfortable on the damage here, but let's see what they can make happen. As they land right above the solo player there. Click still cooking as well as he's trying to get to the front side of zone here. Now, do keep in mind, he has all the knowledge, right, of these storms here. As long as he positions himself well, he could make a top 10. But into the box, Kanata and Cooper go. Momentum carrying them right through Clicks there. And that's going to be the end for them. Meanwhile, Mason and Hound trying to get that extra victory royale here. They've done it once today. The first time they've ever gotten a win inside a set lobby. Can they go 2 for 6 is the question here.
Well, all circumstances considered, MDF, we're looking at a very hurt Peterbot. It's Peterbot, no Pollo. There's no and Ritual, no Clicks or Veno. The high ground definitely seeming like it could be fully in control there. Hound and Mason, they play their chips well, but Peterbot still holding down this mid-ground turf. He's not willing to give up this layer just yet. Nitro Splash gonna be expended as he now continues his charge forward, wants to try and maintain a strong position towards the front side of the zone. Bryce, on the other hand, playing from the backside. Gonna actually opt to use a medkit, not exclusively for placements, but just hoping that if he staggers himself this far behind everyone else, he might be able to pick up a late straggler. Dukes and Spinks all the while. They've got the elimination on Javier, but no opportunity to heal through it. Duke's gonna throw out his final medkit. So Spinks also spotting out Curly.
What is happening?
Both players just too focused on opting to use those medkits instead of fighting.
Too many players playing for the heel off right now. You can see they're just stretching as many points as possible right now due to the fact that series points are, of course, on the line here. Every single opportunity matters for Visual and Braze. They've lost the high ground. They did not have enough material to maintain it. Cooper and Kanata here are one of the few strong standing duos that are live right now, and they can definitely win this game here. And now, Mason falls. Hound is by himself. Some weird land to play with, but Cooper and Kanata find their way through it, and up they go. This is it. Opportunity starting to open for themselves. Peterbot's still going here. He just needs 15 points to go ahead and close the gap onto first place and do it by himself against all odds. Can he get the Elim here onto Curly? Whips both the Elims there and finds the points with the elimination. The mats are going to be welcomed here as well. And another duo inside the box here, ripping through Kanata and Cooper there. And Peterbot is just tearing it up right now.
The fact that he is a lone man on a mission, whether or not that was enough points, we'll find out later on. But Sentinel and Walkers, they needed a massive game to close off today because they were definitely looking to be in a rather threatening position as far as semis, uppers, and lowers are concerned. And right now, this could be their moment. Rigby gonna knock Sentin. Mordecai still got room to work with, but at the same time, Cooper, he could find this. It's a winnable one, but it's not going to be easy by any means. Cooper, out of desperation, trying to break through the walls, but didn't have any heals left. A very substantial difference as far as health and healing was concerned. And Rigby and Mordecai going to find their first victory royale here on the day in lobby number 6.
That's insane. I had no idea Cooper was still alive there for a second as he was just healing there, moving back and forth. But hey, you know what? A new team does win that game there. Shout outs to Rigby and Mordecai. It likely will make a difference, at least on where they end this weekend off here today. Big dubs there. And honestly, we saw new teams get their first wins on the FNCS stage. What a moment to celebrate.
I think the real difference maker here was just how many of our top leaderboard players just found themselves early eliminated, and that made all the difference as far as high ground was concerned. A lot of hot potato pass around, but again, Mordecai and Rigby just doing an excellent job at confirming this final victory royale of the day. And again, it's reason to celebrate.
Yeah, you have to be happy about those wins right there. Mordecai and Rigby get that Game 6 win here for the second qualifier. Taco, what a way for them to go ahead and close things out. And with that, that's going to conclude it from us here, your casters, Monster D-Face, and of course the best Taco. It was a pleasure bringing you guys the action. And to bring us on home, we're going to toss it over to Zeke and the analyst to give us the update.